So in my last video, the haul that I did, it's like 20 books. I stated very, very clearly that hauls were going to be extremely rare on my channel. Here I am a couple days later, and I'm doing a haul video. Now, I'll preface that by saying it's a mini haul, and I did sort of imply that if I did any future hauls, they would probably just be, a few books here and there. And that's kind of what happened today. But that's not how it started. I did not go to the Iliad bookshop today to buy 8 books. That was not the plan. The plan was to go there and see if there was one book, still sitting on the shelf that I had seen last week. That was it. That was my whole plan. If the book was there, I was going to grab it. Hooray. And that would have been it. But you know how it is. We're built different. So I walked into the store and said hi to my favorite people there. And I walked over to the horror section. Now, last week, I was in Iliad, scanning through the horror books, as I usually do. I always scan horror. I always scan science fiction fantasy. I'll scan some of the tie-ins. I'll scan westerns. I'll scan mystery, just kind of like what we all do, right? So last week I was in there. This was earlier in the week. And I spotted a book on the shelf in horror that was marked mystery. But when I read the cover, when I read the back and everything, it suggested that it was an occult detective. And it wasn't one I had heard of. And of course, Occult Detective October is racing up to get us. We're just days away from that as I record this. And I had nothing lined up for Occult Detective October. In fact, my original plan was not even to participate in that reading event. I was going to read a whole bunch of great spooky stuff for spooky season, and I've got a video about that coming up. But there was nothing really occult detective-y on my radar. But I spotted that book, right? I didn't buy it. In fact, last week, I walked out of the Iliad with no books at all, which isn't completely uncommon for me. A lot of times when I'm out running errands, Iliad is close enough to me that I just will pop in, check the shelves, see if anything new has been put up, used. They only sell used books. And very often I'll walk out with nothing. So that was not unusual. But it kept eating me, kept eating away at my brain. That book. Is that book still there? What is that book? I don't even remember who wrote it. But maybe if I go back and I scan the shelves, I might spot it again and I can grab it. And then at least for October, I'll have one occult detective book that I can read, and that's that, right? So I go in the store today. I go to horror. I start scanning through the horror shelves. Pretty much everything I've seen already. I mean, there's a few interesting things. There's way too many vampire books for my taste. I read an occasional vampire book, and I'm okay with it, but it's not really what I want to do right now. I mean, I've read loads and loads and loads of vampire books in the past. And, they pop up, I'll read one. But anyway, that's not what I was looking for. So I scan the shelves. It's alphabetical. I go past the Kings and the Kuntzes and the Sauls. Actually, I didn't get to the Sauls because amongst the M's, there it was. The book. The book I had spotted last week and did not pick up. And so I grabbed it. And it was this. The Things That Are Not There by Robert Morgan. A supernatural mystery. Introducing Teddy London, a tough PI with an eye for the unearthly. Now it's in brand new condition. My guess is it's never been read. Let me read the back. It says, PI Teddy London thought he'd seen it all. What he couldn't see was the winged nightmare stalking Lisa Hutchinson. Maybe she was mistaking muggers for monsters. Maybe she was confusing bad dreams with real life. Or maybe Teddy London was really on the trail of something out of this world. So, okay, that sounds cool. I like how I don't know if you saw that the gun has a monster hand coming out as smoke. So I was very excited. I was like, yay, I'm going to grab this. Supernatural mystery. And notice on the spine, I don't know if you can see that. It probably won't. Oh, yeah, there it is. Well, it's kind of focusing. It says mystery, right? But it was in the horror books. Easy to understand why. So I thought, I wonder if there are any more of these. You see where this is going. So I walked over to the mystery section, because there certainly weren't any more on the shelf in horror. And lo and behold, I found 4 more. Now, there are 6 total, according to Wikipedia. Of the 4 that were there, 1 was in pretty sad shape. So that one I left on the shelf. I don't think you have to read them in order. If that's not the case, I certainly will go back. But I grabbed the remaining 3. Again, all of which are in, as far as I can tell, brand new condition. They look brand new. These have never been read. So I have The Only Thing to Fear, Teddy London, Robert Morgan, Supernatural Mystery. I have Some Things Come Back, again, Robert Morgan. Ooh. And The Thing That Darkness Hides. Ooh, focus. There we go. Obviously, revolvers are featured on the covers of all the volumes. And like I said, the 5th book is on the shelf there. And if I enjoy these, I may just go back and get that beat up one so I can at least read it. I don't have to have all nice condition copies. But now I have 4 out of the 6 that have been published. And I went in there trying to get 1. I went in there looking for just one of them, and I walked out with 4. But at least I have some stuff for Occult Detective October now. So I will, I'll let you know if they're any good. If you have read them, I welcome comments. Let me know if they're worth reading. I'll find out soon enough, because come October 1st, that will probably be my first read of the month. All right. But that didn't stop there, did it? No. So I went over and I started scanning the shelves, and the way they have them organized is the first few shelves are anthologies. And I'm always looking there, and I'm always seeing, I can always tell when something new has been added out of their stock. And there was one which I certainly wanted to grab. It's a DAW, number 410. Lynn Carter presents the year's best fantasy stories, with I think that's a Josh Kirby cover on there. So, I mean, I couldn't leave that. It's in fantastic shape. It's in great shape. So that had to come home with me. Then, and these are the last 3 books, and then that's it. So this is a quick one. When I was in there last week rather, it was last week when I spotted these, I noticed on the shelf there was a book by Bruce Coville. And it was branded with the Omni Magazine logo. This one here. Space Station Ice 3, Bruce Coville. And if you look on the spine there, I don't know if that's going to focus, but that's the Scholastic logo. And you can see it on the back there as well. Oh, that came into focus beautifully. So that was kind of cool. I was like, oh, wow, I did not know that Omni had released effectively young adult or juvenile science fiction back in the day. Let's see what the date is on these. Uh-oh, I just spoiled it. These. 1987. 1987. And when I saw that, I went home and, I remembered it one online, researched it, and I did find out that they had published 3 of them. So I thought, well, when I go back, I'll see if I can grab one of them, and I'll write down the names of the others, and I'll scan the shelves. Lo and behold, I have now all 3. So I have a collection, quote unquote, of the Omni Scholastic books that were, again, released, I think, probably, what is that? This one's 80. Wow. That says 89. Don't worry, I'm going to show them in a second. I'm just curious about the dates. And 87. So somehow they released 2 in 87 and then one last one in 89. But when I looked online, I only found 3. So maybe there are more. I don't know. I'm going to have to look around now. Huh, interesting. But anyway, here's the second one, or at least what I think is the second one. Astropilots. This one's by Laura Mixon. And then the other one I got was Marcia Cruchten, and it's Skyborn. So pretty cool. I'd never really heard of those before. And now, apparently, if only 3 were released, I now have all 3 of them. So how cool is that? All right, that's it. Like I said, it's a mini haul, so I shouldn't feel so much shame. The other nice thing is that I'm a regular at Iliad, and they're always very, very generous with their giving me a little of a discount. So I welcome that. And I mean, honestly, looking at these, like this Omnibook Skyborn, you can still see the price in the corner there. $1.50. What's the other ones here? $2. No price at all. I don't know what they sold me that one for. The Lynn Carter Daw book is $2.50. And it looks like all of the Robert Morgan books are $2.50 each. So I did not spend a lot of money, and but I still came home with a nice little stack of fun stuff. Like I said, I am working on my October reading plan video, and it's going to be a good one. And I've got some fun stuff. And now, of course, with these Morgan books, I've just added a few more things to it. So I'll be talking about those a little bit more in depth. And that video should roll out probably within the next week or so, maybe sooner. I'm all excited about it because I've done some cool stuff. So watch for that. And until then, just be sure to subscribe. I appreciate all of you watching the videos, commenting, liking, and sharing these with your friends. I'm having a great time doing these. As I choke, I'm having a great time doing these, and I'm going to just keep going. So I will see you in the next video, and once again, thank you for watching. Take care.